So I wonder how you are. I wonder what has recently gripped your inner world, even if it's just momentarily. You know, for some of us, it can be something as simple as going to watch a movie. Many of the people in the IFS world will have gone to watch Inside Out too, a film about internal parts. And some of you may have been so gripped by it, so touched, that a couple of tears came through. Some of you may have been touched by nature, a beautiful sunset, a gorgeous rainbow. Some of us are very touched by what's happening in the world right now. Some of us are touched. Currently, there's also the European Football League playing. But we always seem to be tussled, even if in a very slight, gentle way, by these external undulations. And this is how close we are to each other. This is how much we affect each other. As we recognize others' suffering, others' joy, others' pain, and we know what it feels like. If you have an open heart, you can simultaneously be open to the pain, the grief, the joy, the love of someone else. Recognize it as not separate from yourself. And also rest in self, capital S self, in being. Oh, and then for me, there's always a coming home. So an open heart is not closed off to this lila. An open heart doesn't build walls against suffering or pain. An open heart is porous. Can you imagine that each feeling that pours through the heart for me, it feels like an ocean coming in, going out. Each feeling is a joy, even the grief. Even the anxiety. It's nourishment. This is what it means to eat your daily bread. It means to feel nourished and to digest the energetic signature of each and every feeling, each and every moment. As it moves through us. Porous heart, open heart, receptive, flowing, fluid. So gratitude. Gratitude is what lands here. Notice how it feels for you in this moment here. What feels right? What's calling out for love? Which part is wanting to be held? And can you fully open to the calling of this part? Imagine how your body might look if you were to be fully open. What would your shoulders and hands look like? How would your feet rest? If you were fully porous, if you allowed feelings and emotions to naturally flow through as the water flows. Where is there a dam? Where have you built a wall to stop the flow of this feeling, energy? Is it in your neck? In your throat? In your heart? in your solar plexus, in your tummy. How would it be to receive thoughts, to receive any emotion, not as something that comes to rob you, not as something that wants to malnourish you, but something that wants to feed you, that wants to be fully felt. Just as in Rumi's guest house. Each visitor is wanting to be fully felt, fully met, fully seen. So let your heart be porous. Let your body be porous. Don't put up any barriers to anything that comes. If a small 3-year-old child walked up to you right now with crying eyes, what would you do? Would you tell it to go away? You're not real. Would you punish it for crying? Or would you let this child in softly, warmly, compassionately? Let me hold you. Ah, can you sense the sweetness in holding the emotions of this child? Let me tell you now, there is no feeling sweeter than loving what is. There's nothing more nourishing than being present with what is. And there's nothing more peaceful than giving up fighting what is. So you see, whatever enters your guest house is not in the way. It is the way. Yes, allow yourself to be porous. Let it be here. Fully, fully, fully open, more and more and more. You're welcome in my guest house. There is no hierarchy in my guest house. When we resist, anything, we're refusing nourishment. There's an extraordinary amount of energy that's bound up in the feelings, especially those of our burdened parts. Extraordinary amount of energy that the body uses up to brace, to armor against feeling. So not only do we resist being nourished by the feelings, we also expend a lot of energy bracing against. And this can really leave us tired, exhausted, overwhelmed, dissatisfied. If you do a body scan now, notice where you're bracing. You start at the top of the head, Just how your crown chakra is feeling. Into the third eye. If you were to project a line in between your brows through the center of your forehead, and then one down from the top of your head, where those two lines would meet, that's the seat of consciousness. Who's driving the seat of your consciousness? Who's sitting in that chair? And again, inviting this sense of porousness, flexibility, fluidity, freshness, curiosity. And then notice the throat, the neck, the muscles around the shoulders. This is often where our managers hang out. Do they know they can rest and lean back into self? Yes, they can lean back into self. A lot of people carry their head forward. These managers wanting to get ahead, wanting to lead, wanting to control. Do they know they can take a break? And I'm tuning into a sense of a waterfall from the throat into the heart. Oh. Such a beautiful spring of natural, revitalizing energy here. Are there any parts bracing, armoring, curving your shoulders in to protect against the world? And allow yourself to sigh. Allow yourself to hum. Make whatever sound on the out breath. The vowel sound for the heart chakra is ah. Ah. Notice how it feels when you make that sound. Feeling the resonance, the vibration through the heart, trickling through the porous, open heart. I get a sense of honeycomb in this moment, that hexagonal repeating pattern, trickling golden honey, beautiful. The sun's shining through this mosaic pattern of the heart. Porous, open, generous, giving, forgiving. Join me in sighing out, letting an ah sound on the next in-breath. Ah. Where are you bracing? Do these parts know they can let go? And let's check the solar plexus here. Such a powerhouse. This is where the Agni is, the fire. The alchemical juices that transform not only food into energy, but also emotions into energy. Chomping, churning, transmuting, transforming. This is your powerhouse. I just felt my tummy gurgle in that area there. There was a little yawn that my body let out. Can you sense the vitality in your solar plexus right now? Can you imagine this infinity in your solar plexus? Yes. This is where courage, self's courage, beaming out. Yellow. So self helps us to have the courage to witness, to process this, the emotions, the burdens of our parts. Self has this courage. And it's still porous. Courage doesn't have to be hard. It can be soft power, virtuous power. Doesn't necessarily have to be the energy of doing. It can be that wu wei, effortless action. This is where self-leadership is or comes from. And then dive down to the lower belly here, the sacral chakra. Oh, let the belly out. Can the belly be half an inch looser, half an inch floppier? Can it be soft? Which manager's holding your belly in? What does this manager want? If you've got some tight clothing around your belly, maybe loosen it now. Let the belly be soft, round, spacious. Are you bracing? And another yawn. This sacral area here is typically where the creativity is. For women, it's the womb. For men, it's the hara. And creativity has no label on it. It can be anything it wants to be. It can be art. It can be music. It can be babies. It can be whatever you want it. Whatever creativity manifests through you, your parts. Keep that belly loose. Let it be soft. Self's got your back. Creativity can be sensual. It can be sexual. Notice what parts come up when you hear that word. Let yourself be porous. And then let's dive into the root, feeling your sitting bones on the surface that you're on. Confidence. Spirituality begins with our groundedness. Not with our ability to transcend. Spirituality begins with groundedness, security, and safety. Then you can fly. Notice if any parts surfaced. Let's fire up the Agni, the digestive juices in your solar plexus. Let's feel what is here to be felt. And is this serious work? Yes, but it's also playful. Playfulness and creativity is the spice of life. By life here, I mean both the human life and consciousness itself. And creativity and playfulness. Sometimes we can be very earnest and very serious on our healing journey. And that's beautiful. And is it possible to invite playfulness? If you're feeling playful, if your parts are feeling playful, all your cameras and mics are off, and that's fine. You're very safe. No one can see you, no one can hear you. And then for the next couple of minutes, as we're coming to the end of this meditation, what movements, what sounds do your parts want to make? Is there space for playfulness, creativity? Are you feeling curious? Mm. If in this moment you were to be led by a playful part, which part of your body would start to move? I'm noticing for me, it's just making me smile lots. Mm. When we climb a very tall mountain, every so often there's a little hut, a little shelter, little cabin. And we take a little break, drink some water, maybe eat a little bit of food. Little respite. Mm. So hopefully you've had a chance to express through your voice, through your body, and maybe let your parts know that we're going to transition now. Maybe taking a more conscious breath into your body, sighing it out. Beautiful. And take a moment to orient around your space. Thank you.